a completely pedestrian city. We got no roads in here. This is all pedestrian walkways. All we got is this one little train station, this one cargo train station, and then this ginormous car parking lot. I don't know why, I'm not British. To get our citizens to and from the edge all the way over there to our beautiful little city. Will it work properly though? Guys, let's get in to the meat and the potatoes. We're back. We are back. It has been a very long time. We won't get too much into that right now just because this is the very beginning of a series. And if you are new to the channel or you are watching this, a couple of weeks, months, years in advance, or in the future, I guess, you probably won't care about what's happening today. So if you are watching this and the video is brand new, feel free to hop into one of my streams and ask me about what's been going on these last couple months, because it's been intense. But that's not why we're here. We are here today to start a brand new city, and this one is going to be really, really cool. At least I hope. I think it will. Actually, yeah, I definitely think. I don't hope. I also do hope, but I also think this city is going to be a completely pedestrian city. And honestly, I've tested a little bit. I'm not even sure it's gonna fully work in the future, but for now, I think we kind of gotta go for it. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta kind of try. And I'm really excited. So a few things about this map. You can download the map on my page. It's Great White City Builder on Paradox Mods. You can download the map and it will start you out right here. Now, there are a few things of note. You will see, you kind of need anarchy for this build, or you can also opt to have unlimited money. We are starting with a negative 6,000 per hour deficit, which is crazy. Hopefully we're going to be able to make that positive today, but I'm not quite sure. You're seeing these, right? So in this build, basically, it's a pedestrian only build. There are no highways that lead to our starting square, just this railroad right here. It goes across the map. It starts over here, comes all the way through our starting square, goes around this lake. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it would have been a better idea to cross. We didn't, so here we are. And then it goes out on the other side. Now, how do you get people into the starting square, you may ask? Well, outside here, where we have our little connection, we do actually have one 2-lane highway road that comes into here. We have a rail yard, we have a transformer station, and we also have a small train station with a sizable amount of parking. Now, there are a few things that we have to do over here, and this is why I said you do need anarchy. Else you would have to buy these tiles, or else this won't work. At least I think it won't work. You can test it out, see if it does, but an easy fix to this, these are saying that they're not connected to a road. You just click it. That's about it. This should be working now. This just says electricity. So if we come over here and we click some nodes around, now it should be working. This just says it doesn't have sewage or water. What we can also do is we can come in here and just make sure that our water pipes are under the road where they belong. It looks like they are. Oh, but this isn't connected. So I'm going to redraw this and just know that you might have to do this in the future, like if you were to download this for yourself. Perfect. So now if we press play, these should go away. The electricity has, and the water. I'm going to pause it because we are already bleeding money. I don't want to keep this on if we don't need to have it. But now the city works properly. We are going to have to do the same thing over here as well. But we will also need electricity and water. But everything else should be fine. There is water pipes and sewage under the pedestrian road, so it is all good. We just need to build a little transformer, but everything is connected up now. So the idea of this city is we will build a fully pedestrian city, and the only way to get in here is just through a small train station. So that is how people will get in. And then obviously, because we don't have an outside connection, we do need a cargo train terminal as well. So we will be setting up lines in order to get people here from here and there. The other way that we could have done this isn't super important, but we could have just foregone forgone, whatever words. We could have forgone this small train station here and just had the rail yard and then have an outside connection in and out. That is an option as well, and maybe we'll try it on the other side. That way we do have trains coming from both the north and west sides, or south and east. I guess this is north and this would be west. Anyway, that is an option. For now, I think we're just going to have the one, just because I like the idea of all of our citizens having to park over here. Eventually, we will realistically probably have to have a mega parking lot from hell. But for now, while we're not making any money, I think we will be just fine. So now we can talk about the actual map itself. If you have been following the channel for a little bit, in City Skylines 1, we had a series called Georgian Bay. The reason why it was called Georgian Bay was because I grew up on a bay that was called Georgian Bay. And then when Cities 2 came out, I decided that I wanted to, like, any kind of like series that I started, other than, you know, the late Denson, rest in power. Every series was kind of something that I wanted to like build the map myself, other than the very first one when map editing wasn't available. But after that became available, I wanted to build the maps. So this map is actually Georgian Bay, like where I grew up. So it's a really cool map for me. Like I mean, you know, it's not like I know these parts or anything, but it's based off of where I lived. So if you know Southern Ontario at all, leading into Northern Ontario, you have the 400, which comes probably roughly right here and kind of comes up through this area and up into Northern Ontario. And then you would have Highway 12, which would come somewhere around here, and it would go that way, and that would go into Orillia. And then this would be Midland, if you know the area. This would be Port McNicoll. This would be Victoria Harbour. And then over here, probably Wabasheen. And then like Penetang over here, LaFontaine. And then I believe, LaFontaine would actually be over here. And then this would be Christian Island, which is a native reserve in the area. So this is just kind of cool for me. I built this map. It's also the second map that I built. The first map being Kelowna, and I think this map turned out much, much, much better. One of the main things is that there's water outside of these, outside of like the out of bounds zone, the outside of the map. I don't know, words and stuff. But yeah, I like this map a lot more. It's a little bit cleaner, and you can build on more areas of it. It is very, very, very hilly. Like we'll come in here, and I'll just show you really quick. Like it's not flat at all, but it has a lot of character to it. So it's going to be very fun. Even our starting tile, right? It like looks semi-flat. You come in here, this is not flat at all. It is very, very, very hilly, which will make for a pretty good time, I think. But that's a lot of talking. Let's start building a little bit. So, like I said, this is going to be our very first little area. The first thing that I want to do is let's get some power over here. And like I said, we're going to be using all pedestrian streets. I'm going to turn off anarchy. We do have the road builder mod as well. We will be experimenting with it a little bit. I've already tried with pedestrian roads. It's a bit weird how it kind of like works. It doesn't really like them as much as normal like classic roads, but we will be attempting to have fun with that. The first thing I want to do is on this bottom part, I want to create a little very small grid, and I don't want to, you know, get too heavy into grids in this, but just for the time being, I want this train station to kind of be like our main like downtown area. So I'm going to turn off everything but snap to existing geography, snap to zoning cell length, and then 90 degree. And we're going to create a tiny little grid. And I'm wondering if we want to do like a 14 by 14 grid, or if we want to make it even smaller. So this is what this would look like. Something like that. And then we would have some businesses in here, or we could do even smaller. Like we could do like an 11 by 11. And this would be for two reasons. One, so buildings don't get too large. I actually kind of like this, the way that it kind of turned out. Actually, no, I don't kind of like it. We'll start here. I want it to be there. We're just wasting money already. But this would be for two reasons. Yeah, I don't mind that actually. One, I would like to keep grids, you know, or at least the the grids that we use pretty tight. Reason being, everyone's going to be walking around on foot, and if we have large blocks, that just sounds awful, if we're being honest with each other. And the second reason is 11 by 11 means that we can add some paths in here, and we won't break up the grid too much, right? Like if we add a path here, we still have 4s and 4s, and I feel like that's just that's kind of nice. We could also add like transit through here. We could add, because we have the road builder mod, we can add 1U like trains, and they would go through the pedestrian houses and everything. And I just feel like that could look pretty cool. So this is how we're gonna start it off, and then I think over here is where we're going to build out our power line. I'm just thinking about how we want to do this. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a little, if we look at our, where is it? If we look at our air pollution, our wind is moving this way, which means that we will definitely, we will need industry, which means we should probably place it in this area over here. Which means that we should have all of our residential and commercial on this area of the map. So let's see how flat it is over here. We have a little bit of area, and then we have this like area up here that we can build on. And then it's quite a hill down to this railroad. And then on this side, we actually could have something on the other side of the railroad as well that kind of comes across. Like maybe we build like a little walking area, a little bridge that kind of meets up. I think that could be cool. So let's just continue this a little bit. I'm gonna grab this height and come a little bit farther. I don't want it to be too gridded out. I would like it to have a little bit more character than just grids everywhere. But I think for the starting squares, just to kind of establish a sense of foundation for the city, I think that we should start with that. And then we will make a transformer, and then we also have to do water as well. So I'm thinking for water, yes. So our groundwater pumping station, we have a lot of groundwater in this map. We also have a lot of natural resources, so we can make a lot of farms. We'll be chilling, we'll be chugging along. But our groundwater, it's right in here, so we can kind of place this anywhere. Would love to see, here it is, perfect. So when we're thinking about our groundwater pumping station, I think having it in the main city, I believe it has a tiny little bit of noise pollution. I think we'll make like a little city services campus right on this other side, and that will have our groundwater pumping station, and then our electricity, and then we can have our industry kind of around it as well. So let's do that. We'll have it, I think it would be kind of nice if we came up, we didn't just flatten everything around us. So let's come up to like here. We'll create like a little platform, and then we'll slope up to here, right like that. Perfect. And then we'll continue on with our grid that kind of comes up. Perfect. Amazing. So now that we're up here, again, I want to look. So we're actually going to have to place this a little bit farther down. So let's place it like right here. Perfect. And we'll kind of come into the ground a little bit, but not too much. And then on this side, we can have our transformer right here, and then we can connect this up. So we'll take it all the way across here. Perfect. So now we should have electricity and we should have water, but we need sewage as well. So we'll grab a sewage outlet, and we kind of have no choice but to put it right here, which just kind of sucks because this looks like all of the water is coming right into here. So we're going to have to figure that out at some point. We're going to have to get a wastewater treatment plant. But for now, we're going to be putting poop into the lake. And now let's do a little bit of zoning. I'm thinking we'll probably have, we don't want industry to mess up our groundwater, so we'll have to keep that in mind. So let's actually we'll do some of this, and then we'll send a pedestrian road north right here. I'm gonna make these like little lips every once in a while. Yeah, just like that. And then let's make sure that we are not in any groundwater. That's perfect. Cool, we'll do something like that. I'm gonna grab this, create just this area as our industry for now. And it'll just be quite a walk to get up here. I don't love these, if I'm being honest with you. So maybe we take them out for now. I just want to make sure this is far enough away from our water that it doesn't mess anything up. And now we can start to put in some homes. So on the other side of this, we're going to keep this fairly light. But on the other side of this, we're going to do commercial right here. And then we're going to have our homes on the other side. And we'll probably honestly do something like this. And now we can press play and we can let these grow in. Perfect. We'll do it small for now. And we need to create a train line as well. So let's do that. We're going to start it right here. Come down to here. And then we'll bring it all the way back. I don't even think we can name these train lines either. Yeah, we can't. So we'll have to name it afterwards. But now we should start to see some people come in. We have quite a bit of a commercial demand. That's fine. We have 0 population. Again, fine. Once the houses are built, I'll show you what it looks like. Once the houses are built, we are absolutely bleeding money as well. That's fine. But once the houses are built, we're going to start to see people show up, basically. So here we are. We are seeing some cars now, which is really, really exciting. They're probably going to park on the side of the street. But you will literally see... So the train is moving. There's 0 passengers, so we're not going to watch that one. But now we'll start to see people showing up to the train station. So we have another train here. Amazing. So it looks like we're going to have 2 trains. That's fine. And people will start to hop on the train. And then they will be transported to our city. And then once they move into their homes, you'll see our population go up. And there's going to be no cars on the other side. It is super, super cool. The fact that it works, kind of insane. But yeah, now you're seeing people hop on the train. Not a lot, obviously. 8, 11. We end up with 12 people on the train, but they will come over here and they will start to move in. So now that we have that, we do need to build a bunch more. So we are bleeding money. We are losing 10,000 a month, and that is because of our services and our service trade. So that's our production. We're not creating anything, but we're using stuff. And then our services. So our roads, our road budget is super high, as well as our transportation, which we can't even touch yet. So one thing that we can do is we can turn down our budget for water. So we are creating a ton of water, and we also have a ton of sewage as well. So we can turn those down pretty much to 50. Our electricity, we're importing it all, so we can't really touch that, but our roads we can turn down as well. And this should help probably marginally, probably not a lot, to be honest with you. So what I'm going to do while we finish the rest of this is, when we're kind of coming up on a hill here, I don't want to change the terrain too much. But what we're going to do is we're just going to we're going to grab our areas right here, and then we're just going to come in afterwards, and we're going to level out the area so that it looks a little bit more natural. So we're going to bring this to here because now I believe this road starts to turn a bit. So we'll have this come up to here, and we might also extend this in the other direction as well. So like I said, so we're going to come down 11 to here, over and up, and we're going to look at this and see. Yeah, so this kind of so this is what we'll do. Because it's flat, and then it comes up immediately. That's going to look really funny when we start to build houses. So I'm going to take this road out, and then we're going to slope right here. Perfect. And we'll do the same thing on the other side as well. Perfect. And then we can come in here with our soften tool and soften all this up. And we should be seeing our train shortly. It's this one with 12 people. Yeah. So the train should be coming soon, and then more people will be moving in, which is pretty exciting. But I'm going to zone all these guys in, let them grow in. We may need to add a couple more restaurant or commercial around here as well. Perfect. So, like I said, people are going to come off this train, and they're going to move into their new homes, and there's going to be no cars on the street. This is such a cool thing. And they're going to start paying taxes. That's the real reason we want them here. Look at this. And they will just walk to their new homes. And what's good about these pedestrian streets, even though the 1U pedestrian street with the road builder mod would be ideal, to be honest, those don't have support for police vehicles and fire trucks. So they might not work properly. And there we go. We should have 11 people, or 12, I guess, move in. And we have another train right here filled with 17 people. So now we're going to be we're gonna start chugging along, which is gonna be really, really cool. As of right now, we're not being meticulous with like what streets we're zoning on, but we will be doing that in the future because I want to take it. I like taking that a little bit more seriously instead of just having like houses filling in randomly. I think that adds for a cool aesthetic. But yeah, let's continue this on. Cool, cool, cool. And we should be seeing a bunch of people come off now. Right on. And if we come over to our little car park over here as well, so they are saying there's a lack of labor. That makes sense. As we get more and more people in our town, these will be fine. These will have employees. Right now they have 1 of 4, and the employees have to take the train to work. This is 14 of 30. Yeah, so we will fill those jobs pretty quickly. We're also seeing that here, lack of high skill labor. So we need some schools and stuff. But yeah, right now we're really just trying to build as much as possible. And I think what we'll do is we'll probably come up this hill a bit. I'm noticing that there's like some space up here, which is really cool. So let's continue on with this little grid that we have up here. And then this is where we're gonna kind of end it right here in terms of our industry. So what I do want to do is I want to make sure that this is as like nice and smooth a transition as possible. So what we're gonna do is just make sure that it is, basically. So right like here, this is how we'll start. So we'll come up 11, perfect. We'll grab right here, make sure this is flat, or you know, and then we'll grab this to this side as well. And the whole point of this is just to make sure that our roads make sense. Even if we're coming up on the hill a bit, that they still make sense, right? We made it to level 1, which is cool. We don't really get anything cool here. We do get the medium density row homes, so we're definitely going to be putting these in. A lot of this downtown area, I would like to keep it, honestly, as high density as possible. So we're going to take these out, perfect. And then we're going to zone all of these with our row homes as well. And then we're going to leave this back alleyway here. And I don't know exactly what we're gonna do. We might do some transportation, maybe like bus roads through here. Not 100% sure yet, but yeah, we're gonna continue this trend onward as well. So we'll take out these, we'll put in these houses. Amazing. We'll take these guys out as well. So sorry to all these guys that live here, but you gotta get out. You got to leave. We'll come up 11, right like here, and we will continue this trend as we've been doing it. And then we can come in and we can soften up all the terrain around here, make it look a little bit more natural, right? Like that doesn't look that bad when you're coming up here. Yeah, it is very lumpy, but it kind of looks interesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up. I like it. I think it's cool. I would love to create like a little bit of a buffer in here because I do believe that the ground around here is going to get polluted. We also don't want the water to be polluted. That looks a little close if we're being honest with you. That might be a good idea to kind of take this back a bit just so we don't get that pollution. We are playing with mods. I did build this map, so I'm okay with changing a few things here and there to make sure that it looks decent. But yeah, for over here, like I said, we want to have a little bit of a buffer. So what I'm thinking is maybe like a little bit of a commercial district over here could look kind of cool. Yeah, right like that. Just something a little bit interesting. And then on these other sides, like we'll have commercial along here. We will have to give this back. Perfect, they should be good. Yeah, stop yelling at me, please. Appreciate it. And then along here, now we can bring back our housing. So we'll probably keep our our low density along here. And I think we will add this like degree of separation between them, is as these grow in, we're going to see some pretty wild terrain back here. And I think that these, hopefully at least, it'll kind of help this area a bit. Who knows? We can also use these areas to add a bunch of landscaping as well, which would look really, really nice. Would love if these spawned on the right roads though. Perfect. And now we can take this road and we can come back up here. Fantastic. So if we look over here, yeah, we are obviously seeing a bit of craziness over here. But at the end of the episode, we'll come in and we will decorate this up so it looks marginally better. Let's continue on with these. I want to have more row homes through here. And honestly, I think like any homes that front this street should probably be row homes. I don't love these commercial buildings that are all the exact same. So hopefully that changes a bit. We are seeing somebody asking for an ambulance. So that is one thing that we definitely forgot. When we reached level 1, we got healthcare and death care. We are going to have to put these in. So let's do that, shall we? This like Bedford Street looks like it's probably going to be our main street. So why don't we have this off of Bedford Street? Amazing. This is just a small little clinic. These can drive on our pedestrian roads. That is totally fine as long as we don't have a bunch of people that are driving around. That does not bother me. We are starting to see a very large amount of people coming into our town as well, which is super exciting. Very cool. Let's also add in some death care. So we have the cemetery. I do not want the cemetery. It's also very expensive, the cemetery is. So we're going to come into our healthcare and death care. We're going to grab the crematorium. We're going to unlock that right now. And we're going to place this bad boy. It will not fit in any of our grids, which is kind of funny. Looks like we made these a wee bit too small. So what I might do is have this right over here. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then what we can do is we can have a little connection on the other side of this, just so that it's a little bit more cohesive and it makes a little bit more sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this height, come to about here. We'll have our pedestrian road come over here. Amazing. Actually, let's take this out. Perfect. Actually, we might move this a bit. Ooh, it looks like we're screwed one way or the other. So I have an idea for this. Let's grab our slope terrain tool. Let's slope from here to here. Amazing. We'll bring this in. Cool. Obviously, we are seeing some funky business over here. What I'm going to try to do is, we need road services. We need one more point, but I think if we add a key wall on this side, I think it'll look fine. So that's what we're going to try. But we do need a little bit more development points through here. Let's continue this on. I would love to get to the top of the hill with this grid real quick. So let's do that, shall we? Cool, we made a small village, so now we're gonna have to add a few more things, but this does give us access to medium density housing and our schools, which is really cool. I don't think we're gonna be able to afford our schools right now. We're absolutely bleeding money. What we really need is like a lot more taxes and to drop all of this down really low. Our healthcare, I'm gonna drop that down to 50. Our transportation is eating, like we are just eating money in this. So I think honestly, we just need to get to the highest level as fast as possible. We do have quite the demand for medium density, and I think we add some medium density buildings over here as well. I think a lot of the buildings that we'll have in this area are more than likely going to be mixed use residential. For now, obviously we can't really do any of that, but just something to keep in mind for the future. And really at this point, I'm just trying to have a little bit of variation through here so it makes a little bit more sense. I do like the idea of this street right in the back here. It fits just like an alleyway. And then when we have our like public transportation, I feel like it's gonna look super, super cool. But yeah, for now, it looks pretty decent. We do have to build a garbage management, and that is going to, that is going to eat through. We're not actually spending anything on garbage right now, which is interesting. Very, very strange. We also need schools. We cannot afford schools right now, which is really unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. Just part of it, I suppose. We're seeing a lot more people kind of come in. I also want to take a look over here. I want to see how we're doing. Our car parks or our parking lots, are starting to fill up, which is cool. And we have enough employees on all of these as well, which is quite nice. No car parks over here. That's fine. One thing that we definitely need over here is we need our passenger, our cargo train line. So let's do that, shall we? I'm gonna bring this out here. Perfect. And now we should be importing some things. I don't know how we were living, to be honest with you. Maybe it was like all through our industrial, to be honest with you. That actually might have been it. Cool, cool, cool. It's a little bit weird, and I'm not not sure how I'm liking that. I think when we add in our trees and stuff, it'll look much better. And honestly, we're kind of getting to that point now. We do need a lot more people in here. We're only at 1,000, which is a little crazy. I feel like we have enough housing for way more. I guess not. Feels like we do though. We are seeing a very high demand for our industry as well. So let's place a little bit more industry through here. Honestly, I think we'll send this back 2 units just because we are seeing such a demand for industry. We'll send it all the way back here. Perfect. And then down here, we're just gonna make sure that we don't have any of these homes over here. Perfect. Anything spawning on this main street, I think should be residential, or sorry, medium density, high density. And then on the other side, we can have some of our low density. I think that's fine. But the other thing we are definitely going to need over here is public transportation. Again, can't really afford that this moment. We are absolutely bleeding cash, and it's all going into our services. So mostly into this public transport. I don't think we can change that until we get to level 4, Grand Village, public transportation. Yeah, so we kind of need to rush that if we're being honest with each other. But maybe one of the ways to get there is to do a small coal power plant that might be cheaper. I think it actually would be cheaper than the amount of electricity we're spending. It definitely would, because it costs 82,000 to import. So I think that's actually what we do right now is we use we kind of do a Hail Mary right here. And we bring this guy, and I'm going to put it here, which might not be the best spot for it, but it is what it is. Perfect. And then we'll come into here. We'll come into our electricity. So we shouldn't be importing. Now we should be exporting. Perfect. Our maintenance is super high, but hopefully this levels itself out a bit. Now it's saying we don't have enough water. That's an easy fix. We can come into our services. We can turn up our water a bit. Perfect. Our electricity, not ideal, but I think we can turn this down to like 50%. We should still be fine. No, we need a little bit more. That should be much better. We can also raise our taxes a little bit. I don't think we're obviously not going to get to an equilibrium, but if we can get to a spot where we are at the very least like growing fast enough to maintain ourselves, I think that's the best we're going to do. I'm gonna add a bunch more industry through here. Hopefully that that helps as well. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we are seeing, like, again, not fantastic, but we are now spending less on electricity than we were before by adding that coal power plant. So it actually is helping us. This transportation, this is the big one right here. If we can get rid of that, or at least get it down quite a bit, I think we'll be okay. We're making about 134 and we're spending 400. So yeah, that would significantly help us out. Even to just play around with that a little bit. But I think the main thing that we need is just more people living here. So I'm going to do a little bit more zoning. And honestly, we can do large townhomes on this side, which is kind of cool. And then right here, it's looking like this doesn't want to come in. So let's just make that a medium density, and that should help out a bit. We made it to large village. That's really cool. I don't think we're going to get to grand village this episode, but I think that that's okay. So now we have fire and rescue. We have police as well. These are things that we're going to have to build in here. But yeah, and we have a loan limit as well, which actually might realistically be helpful to us. We're still not spending anything on garbage, which is kind of crazy. We might start to see garbage pile up in the future, but everything else, yeah, 75 roads, 50. Yeah, the last thing, we just need to get our transportation down quite a bit. We also could produce some stuff. I'm sure that that would help. And maybe that's what we tackle in the next episode. We need to do some ore, and we have a bunch up here. But yeah, guys, I think that is where we are going to leave it for the episode. This has been the very first episode of Walkerton. There is tons to do. We are bleeding money, but yeah, let me know what you think of Walkerton. If you like the video, like the video. If you love the video and you're not subscribed, what are you doing, man? Subscribe down below. If you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a member. For the next 5 or so minutes, we are going to be decorating around here. I am going to pause the game. That way we're not bleeding money. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Peace out.
Check it. Check it.